So our cabinets in Ruidoso had been repurposed.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured they had, but when I was down there on my belly on the floor, priming, God, if you can imagine getting way up in there, I see these cutouts.
Yeah.
And it's obvious they're separate. And I'm poking around, there's nothing up there. So they were definitely repurposed. But
We spoke to y'all last Tuesday. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, well, I'm Joey Jenkins. We reside at 2320 Chaparral Street, which is adjacent to 2328 Paradise Oaks Coastal Cabins, which is our existing business that we've had for 6 years. We had, instead of building more cabins, we decided, we've had a request from our customers and stuff of why don't you put an RV pad back there, to the side and stuff. And because we're not getting any younger and stuff, since we build them ourselves, we maintain them, we do all the landscaping. We're 100% self-contained. Just turned 65, it's not easy anymore to work like I used to, so we figure that would accommodate, us and everybody else, and then until we get to the age where we have to hire it out to be done. But yeah, that's pretty much why we're doing it. We've got it fenced already. We have some of the amenities already there. As far as when we built the cabins, we extended some of the water and the plumbing to do that, which of course we got to add on to that. But it's pretty much for an ease and comfort for ourselves, and we keep everything nice. It's pretty well kept, but that's why we're doing it. It'll help us move on with our retirement and stay, not do as much work. So, any questions?
So I'm familiar with your cabins and the location. Are there any drainage issues? I mean, I've never, I know on Captain's Bay side, but that may be completely.
Yeah, no, we've been there since 2010.
Okay.
That's when we bought the property and we started developing where we live in, 2011, 2012. We've only had our drainage ditch run over twice. And it was last year and 2 years prior to that when we had the 80 inches of rain and then the 60 inches of rain in the year. And it's mainly because at the end of Chaparral, even though they cleared out our ditch again this year, once it gets to the unincorporated part at the end of Chaparral, there's no place for the water to run and it just backs up. The drainage doesn't continue. I know the city has been working on it and alleviating the little bit of dam that was there at the very end to where it does run, north, into, it might go into Spanish Woods now, but I don't know, but, because they're directly across it, but that's the only time. Normal rains and stuff, you don't, just everyday rain, we don't get it. It just happened that where we got 20 inches of rain in 2 days and they had no place to go. But no, all of our property drains out. I know when our neighbor to the east of us, which is between us and the townhouses, when they built, that's where our drainage flow was. And then he built the driveway, but he didn't put a drainage culvert under his drive, so it backs up a little bit on our low spot. But within 2 days, it's gone. It seeps out. But as far as
So I noticed it's B1. Did y'all do the process?
no, the property where we bought it was was B1 to begin with. All of that side of the street, all the way down. And say when we built, Captain's Bay was just in the infancy. I think the very first street, Breezy or whatever, was the first one that was complete. And directly across us is Pecan Harbor and then Treasure. Those were all unincorporated at that time. I mean, they had the streets, but there was nothing even built on. So, and I think all along our side of Chaparral, all the way to Landfair, I think all of that is B1 because all of that is RV. You've got Coastal Oaks, and then you have that new one that's being built Of course, you have the townhouses. And then there's a 5-acre lot in between Coastal Oaks and that RV, that's being, the RV park that they're incorporating and building. That's 5 acres, I'm pretty sure that's B1, and directly across the street from there, between Captain's Bay and Boat Inn, I'm pretty sure that's B1, that's 5 acres also. But as far as flooding, other than a little bit of standing water when you have 10+ inches, 15 inches, we've got a natural drain that runs straight to the street. And I made sure when it was built, I kept that drainage flow along our fence line and stuff so it doesn't back up. It's just that one time last year where it did go, and then the year prior to that or 2 years prior to that, we didn't have flooding on our property out of the ditch, but it ran across Chaparral Street and people were using their canoes that, having a little bit of fun.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And so my question would be, how much parking per spot?
We have for our cabins, we have two parking spots per cabin. We're gonna have the same for the RVs. My plans are at least 20 foot wide by, in the front, 20 by 35. Two of them, and then in the back, it's gonna be 26, two of them are gonna be 26 wide by 40 foot long, because that's, at the back of where our property, where we have a circle drive. It opens up right in there, and we're gonna have the 30, 50 amps on it on the front. We're gonna put like the 30 amps, the smaller RVs in the front, and then have the bigger ones in the back. Plenty of room. I'm not gonna congest anybody. That's why we were gonna do 5, then it's like, no, let's do 4. I don't want, encroach about anybody. Want to have their space. So I figured 26 in the back, and then 20 to 22 in the front wide. And then we also have in the front, I made 2 extra parking spaces. Where my landscaping, since I lost some palm trees, I incorporated 25 feet of that and made it additional parking for any overflow.
And you understand the process, we will make a recommendation and it will go back before city council.
Right.
So.
And then, like I said, y'all are, come by and look. If you have any questions that, sight unseen, if you want visual, we're there all the time. If we're not at Walmart or HEB, we're at home. So.
Any other questions?
My question's for Carrie. There's no, I don't see anything in our packet where we've had any comments for or against.
No, ma'am.
So I assume nothing's been received.
Yeah, it says none, property owners, no letters. Either way, so. Any other questions?
Man, we keep it pretty quiet, pretty clean. Our only complaints that we ever get from anybody is, as far as our customers and stuff, is the dog at 102 Pecan Harbor. Now, that Weimaraner, they let it out in the morning, 6 o'clock, and when anybody that drives by, walks by, or whatever, it barks. So, that's the only complaint we've ever gotten, was because of that, and then, so.
Motion.
Do you have a motion?
I do.
That's
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, nay? So like I said, this will go back with our recommendation to approve to city council, and they're the ones.
Their next meeting, or?
Yes, which is next,
Okay. At 5:30 or 6:30?
6:30.
Okay.
Yeah,
That will be the first reading, and there'll be a second reading on May 10th. And May
Okay.
10th is the final.
Oh, no final, okay. All right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
thank you. And on the regular agenda, we need a motion to adjourn. So moved. Do we have a second?
Okay, I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned at 5:40.